Welcome everybody. Today we are talking about introduction or summary about rocks and minerals, science for class 5 CBSE. Rocks and minerals. What do you see in this picture? You see different stones or different rocks. Rocks are solids, while sand and silt are small grains. Rocks are big pieces. They are cut or formed not only from the mountain but from the earth's surface or underneath. Rocks are formed of minerals. There are different chemical compounds involved in it and different levels of heat and pressure that gets applied to this, so they change in their characteristics, their properties, the way they look, their texture, etc. We will study about that. Sandstone, marble, granite, etc. are some of the rocks. You would have seen marble in maybe Taj Mahal. You would have seen granite in the kitchen tabletops. So these are rocks. Then quartz, silicon, etc. are minerals. You will have a quartz in the watch, or you will have silicon in the chips that is used in your computers and phones. So minerals are solid chemical compounds that occurs naturally in a pure or raw form on Earth and on other planets. Some minerals are biogenic, that is calcites, etc. That is, maybe they are organic or they are formed from the bones and shells of sea organisms, etc. Rocks are composed of minerals. Rocks are composed of minerals, and these are spatially segregated into distinct phases. The minerals in the rocks are spatially segregated. That is, spatially means with respect to space. It's a different mineral in different places. This is a lateral section of a earth. When you cut the earth inside, this is how it will look like. The surface of the earth is called crust. The surface is called crust, and it is about sometimes 8 to 10 kilometers deep. Then the inner surface is called mantle. Inside that you have outer core, inside that you have inner core. So earth has a core, mantle and crust layered in spherical shells. The crust, mantle and core is layered in spherical shells. The outer crust is solid and it is by mostly silicate. The inner mantle is highly viscous. The outer core is less viscous than mantle. And the inner core is solid. So the outer crust is solid, inner core is solid, mantle and outer core are slightly viscous. The lightest material is on the surface, that is on the crust, and the densest material is on inner core. So we have to dig deep if we have to get inner dense material. The core is made up of molten rock. Molten means almost liquid shape, melted. It's molten rock. This flows out when there is a volcanic eruption. When there is a volcanic eruption, the molten rock from the core comes out. It flows as lava. And then this magma that comes out and flows as lava solidifies, becomes a solid when by cooling after a period of time, and then it becomes igneous rocks. So this is about how rocks are formed. There are different types of rocks: igneous rock, sedimentary rock, metamorphic rock. Sedimentary rocks are formed by collection of sediments. Maybe the bones and shells of the sea organisms and marine organisms collect and form, or from the mountains or other places, the wind and water will bring grains of sands and form a sedimentary rock when they get deposited and when heat and pressure gets applied on them. Metamorphic rocks, like from a tadpole we get a frog, or from a egg to larva to pupa to butterfly, changes happen. This is metamorphosis. Likewise, limestone becomes marble, shale becomes slate. These are metamorphic rocks. What are the types of igneous rocks? Granite, obsidian, pumice, etc. are different types of igneous rocks. Likewise, sedimentary rocks, sandstone, conglomerate, shale, limestone, etc. are called sedimentary rocks. Limestone is mostly calcite used in making whitewashing material, etc. From shale, we get sometimes oil and petrol. Sandstone is used in building and pavements. Now, there are metamorphic rocks. For example, marble, slate, gneiss and quartzite. Gneiss and marble and all is used for ornamental architecture and landscaping. Taj Mahal in India is fully made of marble. Quartzite is a very popular rock. Quartzite also has a mineral quartz which vibrates very correct frequency, and so it is used in clocks for accuracy. Then we have minerals. Minerals are the chemical materials that form the rocks. Rocks are composed of minerals. The minerals are two types, metallic and non-metallic. Metallic minerals are, for example, bauxite, from which we get aluminium. And the non-metallic minerals are, for example, mica. So these are minerals. These are ores that are found on the earth. So what happens is these chemicals or minerals or compounds are part and parcel of the silt, the sand, and so all these ores will be washed and dried and filtered, and then it will be heated and melted to take the ore out. So the shining gold doesn't appear as gold on earth. It appears as minerals mixed with sand and dirt. From this, magnetite is a rock which has magnetic qualities. That means it has a material which has vibrations which reflect or is in resonance with the magnetic strength of the earth, magnetic field of the earth. So what happens is, when we make a magnetite, it will reflect the north pole and south pole of the earth, and accordingly it will attract or repel products like iron ore and other metals. So magnet is either natural or man-made. The magnets attract likes and repel unlikes. So north pole will attract south pole, north pole will repel north pole. That's a magnet. Now metals are got from the ores of the minerals like iron, copper, aluminium, etc. Now this magnet, iron, cobalt, etc. are magnetic materials, and magnets are made by man mostly from these materials, and they will respond to the magnetic field of the earth. Then there are other minerals like coal, petroleum, LPG, etc. These are fuel minerals. Coal can be burnt to get thermal energy. From crude oil, we refine it and get petroleum, aviation fuel, diesel, liquid petroleum gas to cook, and then compressed natural gas we get from underneath the earth to run automobiles. So these are fossil fuels. And then what are fossils? For example, when a rock is formed, in between, for some reason, an animal may get, or a plant may get into the lava, and then on the top and above and below and everywhere there is a sedimentation or the collection of the rock materials. After years, only the bones or only the shell remains. That's a fossil. The crust of the earth we have seen is the outermost part. Then we have an inner mantle which is less viscous, and then we have the outer core which is still lesser viscous, and then we have a core which is solid. Lava is a liquid form of the earth that comes out from the core and in a volcano. So this is what in summary we will study in detail in the next session on details of the rocks. Thanks for watching this video.